everyone, Christina here for Card Player TV, back for another edition of the Poker Buzz. It was recently announced that Maria Ho and Tiffany Michelle have partnered to compete in The Amazing Race on CBS. To talk about it, we've got Maria Ho on the phone. Hey Maria, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing wonderful. So we've all heard the exciting news this week. Tell me about The Amazing Race and how you got involved with it.
Well, Tiffany and I, we've been friends for several years now, and we were always kind of interested in finding some kind of, outlet where, we can compete kind of similar to the way that we compete every day playing poker, but kind of in a different arena so we can kind of, put our skills, so to speak, to the test elsewhere. And so, the opportunity to be on The Amazing Race came up, and it just seemed like such an amazing opportunity and such a once-in-a-lifetime thing for us to be able to do and to have each other there and to kind of work together versus in poker where we kind of, are competing against each other. Just to have that experience and to be able to do it with someone who you're so close to kind of really made it, a no-brainer for the both of us. So.
Were you familiar with the format of the game previous to knowing that you were going to be on the show?
I watched the first season of The Amazing Race when it first came out, and I was immediately intrigued by, the concept of the show. I mean, it's really not like a popularity contest. It's not like Survivor. It's not like any of those shows where you kind of depend on somebody else to stay in the game, kind of. It's kind of just based on how well you do and how well you play your game, and, any mistakes that you make are directly going to count against you, and it's not really that anybody else has that much of an influence on how well you do. So because of that, I thought that, it seemed like a very pure form of competition in that sense. So, so I knew a lot about the race, but, the subsequent seasons, I wasn't necessarily watching every single season as it went on, but, I definitely have always liked the show, and then especially after we found out we were going to be on it, we were watching all of the seasons past and just gaining as much information as we can.
Well, that definitely is a similar parallel to poker in that your results are solely based on what you do, and so to work hard and compete as an individual, well, a team, with Tiffany, but it's not like the United States is voting on you and how much they like you and if they want you to go on. So I definitely see that sort of parallel. Before going into filming, did you kind of have any idea what poker skills were going to transfer into a game like this?
Well, definitely every, mental aspect of poker, we were going to try to, relate that and use that in the race. Because obviously, I mean, the physical aspect is not something that we deal with on a daily basis playing poker. So obviously that would have been really, really different for us. But as far as the mental game, we definitely wanted to take in the whole psychological aspect of poker where, you have to be really emotionally even throughout the whole competition, because in poker you can, if you get a bad beat or, if someone tries to throw you off with table talk or whatever, you always have to remain really, really calm and emotionally even throughout the most intense hands or the most intense high-pressure situations that you face in poker. And so we definitely thought that, our ability to control our emotions and to kind of just, be able to think things out very, very thoroughly, because, in poker you could play a hand 100 million different ways, and it's about making the right decision at each point in the hand for the desired outcome. And it's similar to the show and to The Amazing Race in the sense that, you definitely want to always, there's definitely strategy involved, and at every turn you have to make sure that you're making the right decision to, further you in the game and to get you in the lead or to keep your lead or, to catch up from being behind. So those were all things that we definitely took into it. And, we definitely felt like since we kind of had the gaming background, we wanted to use that in terms of, not necessarily to like mess with people, but, people get thrown off pretty easily, especially in the heat of competition. And if there was anything that we could do to kind of, make the pressure really, really get to these players, obviously, we would want to use that, to our advantage. So.
Well, I think it's great that poker players are getting out into mainstream television. Annie Duke did it with Celebrity Apprentice, now you and Tiffany Michelle on The Amazing Race, and I wish I could ask more about what's going to happen this season, but I guess I'll have to watch myself. It's premiering pretty soon, and are you going to do anything for the show to watch it with some friends, or what are you going to do?
Yeah, you know, it premieres September 27th on CBS at 8 p.m., and it's going to be a 2-hour season premiere. Usually they've just, in past seasons, they've had, you know, just a 1-hour season premiere. But believe me, this show is crazy, and everyone's going to be really, really on their, I think they're going to be on the edge of their seats watching it, because it's a lot tougher this season than I feel like it has been in seasons past, and I'm definitely, you know, planning to have a premiere party and watch it with friends and family. And, you know, it's going to be really, really interesting, because I get to see it at the same time that everybody else gets to see it. So I can't wait to, you know, watch, like, my story play out as well as everybody else's that went on the show, because everybody has their own experience. And, you know, to see that all together is going to be really awesome. So.
All right. Well, we'll definitely look out for that. And thank you so much, Maria.
Thank you, Christy.